This is a fundamental question in Advaita. When there is an emotion, even when there is a strong emotion, even when there is a strong negative emotion, to whom it belongs. Emotions, negative emotions, strong negative emotions, belong to no one. What does this mean? It means the following. Yes, there is a negative emotion here, but there is no one here. Now, you can bring this further into many situations that we call them internal situations. Let's see some of them. Let us say that you're having a negative thought. There is the watching of that negative thought. Notice that I'm not saying you see that negative thought or you watch that negative thought. No. There is the watching of that negative thought. Then there is awareness that the negative thought went through. To whom it belongs. Again, to no one. What this means? It means in this mind-body organism there is a negative thought. Yes. But there is no one here. If you think that awakening will give you complete freedom, complete freedom from all negative thoughts, from all negative emotions, if you think that awakening will give you that, you're going to be disappointed. But on the other hand, when a negative thought or a negative emotion is owned, when you think of it as mine, I am angry. How can I have such a negative thought? When you do that, or when your mind does that movement, then you have extra suffering due to the negative mental object. So awakening gives you the seeing through the I, the me. You realize at that moment, or better, there is the realization at that moment that such a thing does not exist. That I and me are just a convention in the language. They are just an abstraction. They are just a mental device, mental stuff. But there is not a self here called me or I. That's awakening. And then awakening begins to inform you that everything that is happening to the mind-body organism internally, thoughts and feelings, desires, likes, dislikes, temper tantrums, they don't belong to you because you are not there. They belong to the mind-body organism. The mind-body organism is highly programmed. And according to those programs, will react to the environment and situations in a particular way. it's completely impersonal. If the desire arises to change the way the mind-body organism reacts to external situations, then you follow that, of course. How can you change the programs of the mind-body organism? Well, there are so many ways, right? You can do therapy, you can talk with a coach, you can practice the surrendering technique, surrender the feeling or surrender the thought. You can sit with it in the Zen tradition, meaning sit with the feeling and bring awareness to the feeling until it dissolves and you gain insight into why that feeling is there. So you're, at that moment you begin to work in the mind-body organism. But even during that working in the mind-body organism, there is no one there. Let's bring this a step further. When you meditate, which probably you do at this point, and meditation is a good habit, but during the meditation, who is meditating? Normally you will say, I am meditating. That's not true. There is no I inside. There is not a self inside meditating. Meditation is happening. No one is meditating. Any spiritual practice is the same situation. There is a practice and no one practicing. And of course, do all the practices you want. I mean, you quotes, right? All the practices that naturally arise, that feel good to do. Of course. Why not? They feel good. But remind yourself, when you are practicing, remind yourself that there is no one practicing. There is the practicing and no one practicing. It's happening. Everything in this universe is happening. This universe, in fact, is a happening. It is a constant happening, a constant unfoldment. That's what the universe is. It's not something static. It's like a movie. It's a happening. So meditation is happening. No one is meditating. Practicing this or that is happening. There is no one practicing. This emotion is arising. It belongs to no one. That negative thought is arising. It belongs to no one. Living in the awakening state means to live in that emptiness of self. To live in the awakening state. I'm not saying awakening. Awakening does not give you that. Awakening gives you the seeing through the me and the I, so that you can begin to disarm all this programming that we have here, that we are personalizing everything when it is not personal. Nothing is personal because the persona is a story of the mind. So awakening is the foot on the door. But then there is work to do. That work is called embodiment. Let's look now at activities. are all type of activities in our lives, right? Doing this video. This video is being done. Who is doing it? No one is doing it. Alternatively, you could say the universe is doing it. As part of its unfoldment is happening. You're washing the dishes. Who is washing the dishes? Nobody's washing the dishes. The dishes are being washed. Or you could say, who is washing the dishes? The universe is washing the dishes. Yes. You are driving. Who is driving? The universe is driving, or no one is driving. Which means also that the one consciousness that is inside, which is not personal, it's not my consciousness, is consciousness only. That consciousness, that universal consciousness is driving the car. Yes, that could be true too. So you have different options to explain the truth. The universe is driving the car. The one universal consciousness present in all sentient beings is driving the car. But consciousness operates through the mind-body organism. And if the mind-body organism is programmed in a twisted way, and you drive recklessly, then the mind-body organism is interfering. There is a problem in the mind-body organism, not with consciousness. When we see aberrant behaviors in people, you can be sure it has nothing to do with consciousness. Consciousness is not programmed. It has to do with the mind-body organism in those beings that is corrupted. When you make a mistake, when you say the wrong thing, you can be sure that it's not consciousness, acting through you. Is, yes, consciousness acting through an instrument that is imperfect. It's imperfect. Always will be. So I want to suggest that from this video you get only one thing. If you watch it several times, probably you will get more and more. This is not so easy to understand. But I hope you get one thing, which is this pointer. It's a very simple pointer. When you see a negative emotion, you see that the body is not feeling good. You see that there is a negative thought. There is restlessness in the mind. You tell yourself, yes, this is happening, right? So that's what the yes means. This is happening. Yes. It's accepted. So, yes. But there is no one here. Now, unfortunately, this sometimes, and by some immature seekers, is used as an excuse to do not take responsibility for their feelings. What I mean is, you have a negative feeling, you react in a situation, you hurt the feelings of someone, and they, sorry, there is no one here. Instead of apologizing and doing some work to see what's going on in the mind-body organism. So a mind-body organism that has evolved to a point of maturity has, as part of its programs, the subroutine called taking responsibility. Therefore, you hurt someone and you say, I'm sorry. You don't say, there's no one here. And if the person you hurt is already awakened, you may say, sorry, there is a problem here in this mind-body organism. Sorry for that. But if the other person is not awakened, you better use the word I, right? Because they will not get it. So you say, sorry, I made a mistake. I'm going to correct myself. So this is not a license to do not take responsibility. Keep that in mind. That's an indication of immaturity, psychological immaturity in the mind-body system. Immature individuals have not reached the point where they take responsibility for their thoughts and feelings and actions. But let us hope that you have already accomplished that milestone in the process of evolution. Who is evolving? No one is evolving. The mind-body system and the subtle bodies that are in here are evolving, yes. And there has to be a taking responsibility for that evolution. One more thing. We offer at the Institute a course that is called Psychology of Consciousness. It's a combination of video classes and coaching sessions, one-on-one, on Skype or WhatsApp. It's called a flip learning method, very effective. And we offer this course in Psychology of Consciousness to those who are interested in awakening or embodiment. It helps for both. If awakening happened in your mind-body organism, if it happened, then this course can help you a lot. If you're looking for awakening and you feel that you have done already some significant work in Advaita, this course will help you immensely to reach awakening and go farther. Awakening is a milestone, very valuable milestone, but it's not the end of the path. So if you are interested in the course in Psychology of Consciousness, you will find a link below this video.